they seem to make it salty or explode. Perfecting imperfection, goblins and gnomes.
Hey everybody, Zarkazm here, and welcome back to Hearthstone, Goblins versus Gnomes. Last episode, we took a look at the Mech Mage, which is a very common mech-based deck that you're gonna see out on the ladder. Of course, you'll see other mech decks. You'll see a mech deck of almost every class, to be honest, except maybe Demon and Druid and Hunter. Okay, so you won't see a mech deck of every class, but you will see more than Mage. Mage is just the most common that I've personally seen. Mage has a lot of as we saw in the episode in last time. Mage just has a lot of support cards, a lot of utility cards that just works well with that zoo mech strategy. But enough about mechs. That's not what we're talking about today. Today we're actually returning to an old favorite that has been around since the beta, and Goblins vs. Gnomes has added a couple of new things to it, but in all honesty, again, much like the Pirates, it's really not that much of a help. We saw in the Pirates the one-eyed cheat edition for rogues really doesn't help Pirates that much. What it does is the ship's cannon, of course, but as for Murlocs, let's just take a look. Let's switch over to Classic just so we can get a bit of a history lesson. I'm pretty sure I've got them all. Well, I don't have Hungry Crabs anymore, apparently. I thought I had one at least. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Murlocs. So Murloc Tidecaller, basically the Murloc you want to start with, man. I mean, really, the Murloc you want to start with. You want to start with that Murloc early, turn one, possibly two of them if you've got a coin, and just start snowballing it. Where it does kill you is the health, of course, but that's where you want to transition quickly into Cold Light Seers or Murloc War Leaders to buff the health of that Murloc Tidecaller. Now, the Tidecaller is actually not your only starting Murloc. If I switch to the basic set, is it not in the basic set? Well, that's weird. I guess I'll switch over. Oh, because I'm in crafting mode, of course. Now let's switch to the basic set. Of course, I won't see these in crafting mode because there are Murlocs that actually come, I believe, with the mage deck that are soulbound, can't be crafted. You automatically have them, and you just gain them through leveling up, and that's going to be a couple of key cards actually. Your Murloc Raider, basic Murloc, really all it's going to be used for is a turn one opener or something to help buff your other Murlocs that need that snowball. Bluegill Warrior for some early removal and of course a little bit of burst because it has charge. Murloc Tide Hunter, puts two things out on the board for 2 mana. And also helps to buff your other Murlocs. Finally, Grimscale Oracle, 1/1 all Murlocs, including enemy Murlocs. So that's the problem with Murlocs. If you're doing a mirror match, you got to be careful because you're going to end up buffing both of you, which isn't too bad. You're both buffed, so it sometimes doesn't make a difference, but you got to be careful. And then finally, we switch back over to. Oh, not the classic set. It's actually a reward set. Good old Murkeye is the legendary Murloc. Much like the Captain's Parrot, you gain this Murloc whenever you have all of the others. So for me, what held me back on that was I didn't have the Murloc War Leader for a long time because it's an epic. So little more rare, a little more difficult to get. Finally, I didn't mention, I just kind of glossed over it, is the Cold Light Oracle, because personally, in my opinion, in a Murloc deck, this is something I don't want, because I don't want to give my opponent 2 more cards to wipe out my field of Murlocs. That's not what I want. So I actually leave out Cold Light Oracles for other support cards, or as we take a look in Goblins versus Gnomes, a new Murloc was added, Puddle Stomper, which is amazing. 2 mana for 3/2, so it's got good stats. You can get it out early. It's good for trading with some of those hard to kill minions like mech warpers that are 2/3s, or ships cannons that are 2/3s. Things with 3 health that you summon early. So that's a good counter to that. And then I'm sure you keep noticing I'm skipping over these. These are the 2 shaman specific Murloc cards. Technically there's only one, but there's a Murloc here that is an epic, but I don't particularly like it. I don't find it that useful, mostly because of its cost. The 2/5 is nice, but I feel like it shouldn't be 4 mana. It should maybe be 3 mana with like a smaller amount of health. Like if this was a 3 mana card with 3 or 4 health, I'd be fine. But it's a 4 mana card and it has overload, and by the time you get to turn 4 to play this, whenever another friendly Murloc dies, draw a card. Whenever you get to turn 4, the benefit of this is either you're going for the face with your swarm of Murlocs, so you're not going to be killing your Murlocs, or your Murlocs are already dead. So there's no point, honestly. And plus, that's a huge amount of your turn, 4 mana and an overload. So it's 5 mana, basically. 5 mana for a 2/5 with a lousy benefit. So I ignore that one completely. And then the new legendary for Shaman, Neptulon, on a battle cry, add 4 random Murlocs to your hand. And it's a 7/7 for 7, so it's a decent card. It does overload you for 3, but it's not too bad because you're probably going to immediately play those Murlocs, and most of the time they're going to be your low-level Murlocs, because most of the Murlocs are low-level anyway, as we've seen here. So it's not too bad. Every once in a while you'll play Neptulon and you'll get screwed over, because I've gotten one of those, an old Murkai, and like 2 of these in one go. It's like, well, crap, I can't really do anything with that. So that has actually led me to not use Neptulon that much. Maybe if it was less of an overload, and maybe if the Murlocs that it gave you... Actually, I wouldn't mind the overload if the Murlocs that it gave you were guaranteed to be like 2 mana or less or something, or, because something like that, just so you could compensate for that overload. So it's actually led me to not use it. Now, there is actually one more Murloc-based card that is probably not going to show up in the search, but I will just navigate to it. Oh, it's not going to show me that, is it? Here he is, Elite Tauren Chieftain. Open it up. So this card, if you've been around long enough, you'll have one of these. At least you'll have the golden one, because it was for getting a BlizzCon ticket, not for last year, but for the year before, so 2013. Or you can, of course, I think you can get the normal one in a pack. I'm not sure, or maybe you can just craft it. Actually, I think after BlizzCon they released it to where you could just craft it. But anyway, if you went to BlizzCon or you bought a virtual ticket in 2013, you'll have one of these. Most people do. Most people that have been around since then. And the description is a bit vague. Give both players the power to rock with a power chord card. There are 3 types of power chord cards. One of them, you just deal 4 damage to something, and I think you draw a card. No, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've used Elite Tauren Chieftain. The second card is summon a random horde minion, which most of the time is a low-level 2 or 3 mana taunt. Every once in a while, you'll get something interesting. The last card is, it's called I Am Murloc, and it will summon, like, 2 to 5 1/1 Murlocs. So every once in a while, if you're lucky, you can synergize that with your Murloc deck. Specifically, usually with old Murkai. I have spelled Murloc wrong. Murloc. What have I done? I had it a minute ago. There we go. Yeah, because old Murkai, as we didn't really talk about, has +1 attack for each other Murloc on the battlefield, again including your opponent. So yeah, the I Am Murloc card can actually synergize with that. A brief history lesson, though. There actually used to be, back in the day, not only a Murloc Shaman, but also a Murloc Warlock. And this was back a long time ago in the beta, before this guy was nerfed. What this guy used to do... See, now he's 0-1. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1. What he used to do is he used to have 1 damage, so he was a 1-1, and he just passively gave everyone on your board 1 health. Always. It was just like a passive thing. He's basically a totem. And that was a really common thing as a Warlock Murloc deck, which I ran one for a while. Get those Blood Imps out early, get those early Murlocs. I mean, you were pretty unstoppable, especially once you got your... I always forget what they're called. It was Cold Light. Once you get the Cold Light Seer out to buff the health with the Blood Imps, I mean, there was no stopping them. But once they nerfed that... once they nerfed the Blood Imp, it was pretty much impossible to have a Murloc Warlock deck. So I got rid of that pretty quick. The only reason why Shaman was ever a thing is because of Bloodlust, specifically. So let's take a look at the Murloc deck that I've been tweaking with, and I've actually been combining it with some of the mechs. Specifically, this guy, the Whirling Zap-O-Matic that we talked about a little bit, how it's an amazing card. If it's undamaged, if it's untouched, and is left there to wreak havoc, it's amazing. And of course, we have some other mechs here. Annoyatron, Annoyatron's a solid taunt. It's an amazing taunt, honestly. Goodbye, Gold Shard Footman. Good low-level taunt. Anti-kill bot. I used to have Neptulon in here. I've since replaced him with Dr. Boom. And Dr. Boom combined with Bloodlust is kind of interesting. So let's do a quick game. You'll see some familiar mech synergies, just a bit, just a little. And of course, some classic Murloc. Let's play casual game, please. Oh, I still have Pirate Rogue selected. That tells you how long ago that was. Not very. Golden cards can be disenchanted for a lot of dust. Personally, I like the golden cards. I think I've only disenchanted like 1 or 2, and they were cards that I had no desire to use. I think one of the first ones was a Millhouse Mana Storm, a golden Millhouse Mana Storm. I was like, I could get a better legendary for this. Alright, what we got here? Ah, perfect. This is actually a nice start. I'm going to keep this start. Turn 1, Murloc Tidecaller. Turn 2, depending on what he plays, I may have to clear something quickly with the Bluegill Warrior. Problem with a lot of druids and nowadays is they'll open with a zombie chow, and it's a little difficult to kill.
My greetings.
I may want to be careful. Ooh, now that is another possibility. I might do this. I'm going to do this. If anything, it'll bait out a Wrath, but if it doesn't bait out a Wrath, that's 6 damage. Unless he's got that bear, that new bear that they added. Oh, an Annoyatron, why? Oh. How dare you? Okay. So, it's not gonna do what I wanted it to do. Oh well. Alright, let's not do that yet. I want to I don't want to just put the Murloc Tidecaller down unprotected, because I really need to buff the health of the Murlocs before the Druid can use a swipe. Because if he uses a swipe, I'm done. Now, in the Pirate episode, I mentioned the concept of a zoo deck being in waves. Oh, this is nice. Okay. See, I could start putting these out, but again, a swipe to the face and they're gone. Let's just put this out. It's a solid creature, 3/3 for 3. And it might bait out a Wrath, might even bait out a Swipe. So as I was saying, in the Pirate episode, I talked about the concept of waves. So, with a Murloc deck, depending on how you start, if the first wave gets taken out, you may have another wave to work with. It's just gonna depend on how you've set it up. So because I'm trying to play around Swipe, it's a little difficult. Let's see what this gets. Oh, it's not really what I wanted. All right, let's see. That'll buff. I intended to kill this, but I think I'm just gonna go for the face. Yeah, let's just go for the face. Let's not play anything. Remember, we're playing around Swipe. That's what we got to be careful about here. Alright, next turn I'll have 5 mana. Actually, wouldn't be a bad idea to put down the Tide Callers and the Seer, because that'll actually buff their health a bit and keep them alive. And it's them I want to keep alive. Get something crappy. Okay. Yay, crappy. Gnome.
Well played.
I don't know what it is about water bottles. I just don't want to. They're always ever since they went to these like recyclable, biodegradable plastic, they're always deformed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. Huh. Alright, should we start playing these guys? Let's start playing these guys. We gotta get them out on the board at some point. Let's get their health buffed. Alright. So that'll be a little more difficult to swipe. He might be able to... He'll probably silence one and probably just sink all his minions into another, I'd imagine. Or I suppose he could swipe one and sink all his minions into another.
Well played.
I don't know what he would do from there. He knows if he doesn't do anything about this, they will snowball. Alright, now, if he does this, he's thinking about it. Okay, see, there's the swipe. Alright. So much for playing around swipe, but I did possibly cause him to spend a lot. I guess he could Wrath. That would suck. But that means I would have baited out a Wrath and a swipe. But I have lost both of my... Oh, and I baited out both Wraths? Holy shit. The follow-up to this isn't that great either, but that Wrath is gone. That's all I care about. You need to die, actually, before I place anything else down, so screw you. We are in a bit of danger. Alright, let's just get you and you. I won't worry about you, because he can just kill it. So let's get those guys on the field. See what we do. Our first wave was taken out, so we need to get to working on our second wave, which next turn we're going to be out of cards. So hopefully we get something to bring this back. Mana Tide Toner for card draw actually is not bad. I can kill this, but I'll have to lose everything, which is not ideal. I don't really have a choice, though. Flame Tongue Totem, okay. So I can boost these guys up a little bit, do just a little bit of damage, poke them out a little bit. It's alright. What I was mentioning earlier is it looked like he was about to swipe the Cold Light Seer, and I've noticed a lot of people think that killing the Cold Light Seer will break the health buff, but it doesn't, because it's a battle cry. It's already been done. It's not like this Murloc, where it's constant. Now this could be a problem. However, he was so gracious to silence our totem, so he is a bit worthless now. Unfortunately, he can't do much. Let's see what we get out of this. Let's put that Murloc over there. Let's kill this so it doesn't become a problem. Let's kill that. We're kind of playing a control game now, which is not really something that Murloc decks do. We got 17 cards left, so we've still got old Merc Guy. We still got another War Leader, is that what they're called? You know, to buff our Murlocs, but by that time we might not have any Murlocs left. We do also have some Annoyatrons that we haven't drawn. Bet my having an Oracles for card draw would come in handy. However, he is about to run out of cards. Okay, that's both of his silences. Alright. Which kind of sucks, because I only have one attacking minion now. What's he gonna do? He gonna hit me in the face? Alright. He's used all of his cards. Oh, I didn't even realize that guy could still attack. Shit. Alright, well. That's all we can do, so if we get a Bloodlust next turn, that might turn it around for us. It's kind of the danger of leaving all these minions here. Now, if he draws something like a Starfire or... well, I guess they have Poison Seeds, but that's not really a board clear now, is it? Another Annoyatron, okay. He might play a control game, too, taking out my damage dealers. In fact, it looks like he will. Yep. Anti-Killbot, why not? A little bit of health back. Get rid of that. Alright, so we're holding in there. If we can just hold out long enough, get some Murlocs built back up, and get a Bloodlust, I think we'll be alright. Depends on what he gets. Maybe hopefully we'll get Dr. Boom so we can kind of control this a bit. That's where Dr. Boom comes in handy. I've noticed he's got the Naxxramas card back, which you don't actually get from Naxxramas. You get it from being level 20 in the season that Naxxramas came out, which was like the third one or the fourth one. So he's been around a while. I, of course, have the Molten Core card back, which is, you get that from pre-ordering BlackRock. I'm really looking forward to BlackRock. A lot of good information coming out about that. Coming out April 2nd, if this video is not out by then. Alright. Oh, yes. Now, give me the totem I need. Yeah. Alright, so we can wipe the board now. I hope nothing bad comes out of that. Murloc of his own. Yay. So we're top decking at this point, which is ridiculous for a Murloc deck. No, a Murloc deck really should have killed this guy by now. Oops, I hit the table. I hope that didn't yell at the mic too much. I'm still tweaking this microphone a little bit, so... Oh. If... Whatever. Do your damage. Do your damage. Yes, Dr. Boom. That'll certainly clear things up. Oh, Bloodlust, please. Bloodlust would just end this game. Oh, Mechanical Yeti, looky there. Yes, go for my face, and let me draw into Bloodlust. You should not do this to a shaman. You should not let a shaman fill up his board. Fuck. Alright. Boom. Boom. Kaboom. I'm tempted to hit him. I don't want to hit him though. I need to get the hits off. He can't one-turn me anyway. He would need the combo, and he doesn't have it. Okay. Yeah, he's trying to kill me. Alright, give me Bloodlust. Let's end this game. Feral Spirit is not bad. Oh, okay. That's an interesting thought. I could bring back... I might want to bring that back. One, two, three, four. Yeah. Because I need that card draw. Let's get some taunt. Murloc Raider. Yeah, shut up. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna do 8 damage to me behind a taunt wall? You're a shaman. Or, no, I'm a shaman. I'm a shaman. You're a druid. You're a healer. I don't know what I do. Damn it. It's not what I want. No, shut up. Crap. Okay, you have to die. You have to die. I've got to be a little cautious here. Crackle, okay. Crackle might end the game for us. God, this is an interesting... This is not a typical Murloc fight, which just makes me angry. But it does kind of show if a Murloc deck has the right support cards, if your Murloc strategy gets taken out, because we've seen the Murloc strategy. I mean, we've seen it since the original Hearthstone. It's just it's a rush to the face zoo strategy, really. But with some of these newer Goblin versus Gnome cards like Dr. Boom and Crackle even, and the Anti-Killbot, I'd have been dead. Anti-Killbot gave me 8 health. I'd have been dead by now. Would you shut up? I'm tired of you saying natural mistake. I will hurt you. Just give me Bloodlust so I can end this. There it is! Yes! Oh. Watch this. Oh no.
That was a mistake. A natural mistake.
Or was it? Die, you piece of trash. Druid. BM'd out of 10 out of 10. Okay, so that has been a really weird Murloc game. Actually, it really failed as a Murloc game. But this showed that even if you fail as a Murloc deck, if you've got the right support cards to go with it, you can hold on. You can stay in the game. You can come back, especially with Shaman. Now, that Druid was a bad example because he did something you should not do. You should not let a Shaman's board fill up like that. You shouldn't let a Druid's board fill up like that either, because of Savage Roar and the Druid combo of the trees, Force of Nature, and Savage Roar. So yeah, that's been Murlocs, revisited, reborn, if you will. We're kind of getting to the end, or towards the end, of some of the new Goblins versus Gnomes things. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be getting into some Black Rock soon, and seeing some of the new Dragon cards. But until then, we do have a few more things to talk about. I've been Zarkazm. I'll see you guys next time.